I can't forget the massacre. Even after 100 years, it will not be erased from our memory, and our relations with the Turks will not improve. Armenians and Turks cannot live together on the planet Earth. There will be no reconciliation. I have lived with the Turks. I know their character well. I can make friends with all the people of the world. But I will not be able to put up with the provocations of the Turks. We have not forgiven for the genocide 100 years ago. We do not forgive for these victims either. Even if the roads are open, the enemy remains the enemy. These are residents of Yerevan, citizens of Armenia, and what they say is not personal but the general opinion of the Armenian community, an expression of petrified hatred towards the Turks. This demon, passed down from generation to generation, has poisoned the Armenian nation to the bone, to such an extent that no one lives in Armenia except Armenians. Although the current Armenian state as a whole is located on the lands of historical Azerbaijan, today there is not a single Azerbaijani family left there. Creating a mono-ethnic society, they continue to educate new generations with sick thinking, rooting themselves, their children, in hatred towards the Turks, and also on the basis of a genocidal lie that is not real, which they themselves invented. In fact, they don't realize how miserable and poor nation they are, because apart from the hatred they feel, the Armenians have nothing real. Everything they offer at the national level is fake and theft. Music, folklore, literature, cuisine, even the alphabet they use is not theirs, but letters belonging to the ancient Albanians, which was mastered and Armenianized by them. As well as their fictional dates, imaginary Armenian illusions have brainwashed this nation so that they can neither think nor act intelligently. Otherwise, a monument would not have been erected to the terrorist Garagin Jde. They would not have declared him a hero. Armenians, proud not only from Garagin, but also of the other terrorists, have become prisoners of the hatred they have absorbed for years. One can list hundreds of historical facts proving this. The experiments conducted by Armenian doctors on Azerbaijani prisoners of war in the First Karabakh War are irrefutable facts. During the hostage-taking, Shovgi Hagani Oğlu Aliyev, who was 3 years old, the basal bone was removed by Armenian doctors, which left him disabled. During the occupation of Kelbajar, Arzu Hajiev, the newborn son of Gulmajal Guliyeva, was injected with various drugs by the Armenian doctor Aida Serobian, which made him disabled as well. This villainous Armenian doctor is known for conducting experiments on numerous Azerbaijani prisoners. Her inhumane actions were highly appreciated by the Armenian government, and she was awarded various state awards. This is the true face of Armenian hatred. It should also be noted that there are some exceptions among Armenians. There are also Armenians who study the truth, try to distance themselves from hatred, and try to save their nation. Like, for example, the historian Philip Ekazants. This man has been studying history for years and exposing false information, calling on his nation to abandon lies. But the Armenians do not want to listen to the truth of the Ekazants. They call him an enemy and even threaten him with death. Hatred takes the Armenians out of humanity, makes them resort to all kinds of barbarism. Otherwise, it is impossible to explain the March massacres in Baku, the Hocalı genocide, and other tragedies. A resident of Lachin who was captured by Armenians at the age of 16 during the First Karabakh War tells the horror story. Armenians lit a bonfire and burned 2 wounded Azerbaijani soldiers alive. Civilian Armenians living in the village also came to watch their painful death. Among them were women and young people. They stood aside and watched with delight, rejoiced, and were proud of the Armenian militants. Armenians, blinded by hatred, are not afraid to torture not only adults but even Azerbaijani children and infants. Yegana Aliyeva also talks about other atrocities committed in Hankendi. I was taken to a building in Hankendi. When I walked through the door, I was terrified. The interior was full of young captive Azerbaijani children. They were all half naked, very thin and scared. When they saw I was speaking Azerbaijani, they ran to me. Most of them were sick. Children were given boiled wheat as a food. When the juice of boiled wheat cooled, it turned into an uneatable stone. It was necessary to drink it hot. The children were so hungry that they were forced to drink boiling water and their mouths were burned. Everyone had a burn wounds on their lips. For an Armenian whose blood is soaked with hatred, it does not matter whether it is a child or an adult in front of them. The crime they commit against Turks, Azerbaijanis, pushed them to commit all kinds of atrocities. The genocide they committed in Khojaly could not have been work of a normal, healthy mental person. Only a traitor, a tyrant, a demon like an Armenian could have done this. Armenians whose loss during the Second Karabakh War did not hesitate to target civilian people. We all remember the rockets fight at Tartar, Barda, Ganja, while the victorious Azerbaijani soldier, like a real knight, did not fire a single bullet in the direction of peaceful Armenians. He brought the enemy to his knees on the battlefield, destroyed him. By the way, it should be noted that tyrants are also the most cowardly people. Just like the Armenians, we saw the true identity of these creatures who for years deceived themselves with the myth of the invincible Armenian army in the patriotic war. And they saw it themselves. After the war, criminal cases were initiated against hundreds of Armenian servicemen who committed desertion, whose trials are still ongoing. Although the Azerbaijani people, who have thousands of martyrs, veterans, did not have a single deserter, our glorious army showed not only the Armenians, but also the who is who. As for the Armenians who are consumed by hatred, there is only one way out to save their future. As the same Philip Ecozian said, to renounce hatred, to renounce false history, to accept the truth. Otherwise, the bitter fate that awaits this sick community is inevitable.